God bless everyone. Judy here. Welcome to Faith School, lesson 42, where we are going to be talking about how we discussed this before. We will continue to revisit it a lot. It's something that the Lord has taught me. We're going to talk about how, in order to get to the other side of greater faith, and for it to keep progressing to greater and greater and greater faith, because that's the goal until we see Him face to face. We're always going from glory to glory, faith to faith, and you must go through greater doubt. You're going to have bouts of doubt, and I really want to talk about that so that it makes you feel better. I hope you don't think that when I give these messages that I'm just this overcomer 24/7. The goal is, I'm in the Church of Philadelphia, we are overcoming, but I'm not always in a position of overcoming. I'm striving toward that, but I have moments of doubt. I have moments of chaos. I have moments of all kinds of human emotions that I'm glad I'm human and not an angel. I'm glad that God made me fully human and that I can, with the Spirit, put to death my parts of my humanity that need to be renewed and led by the Spirit, right? But I'm not at war at them. I'm not constantly like hating myself for having a doubt. So we're going to talk about how, in order to get to greater faith, going through greater doubt and different levels of doubt to get to greater levels of faith is just the way it is. There's no way around it. And so God taught me this. I don't know if anyone else teaches on it. This is all coined by me, as far as I know, is in order to get into greater faith, you must get into greater doubt. You must go through greater doubt, and you have to push through it. You have to push through it. Now, if you go into greater doubt and you're not pushing through, then you're just going to stay there, and that's sad. So I'm encouraging you to push through. But, I want to talk about self-hatred, and, I've beat myself up so many times on this path. I've been in the Lord since I was 16. I'm 55 now, but at 2013, He fell on my son, and we've been called to this ministry, a very public ministry of preparing the way. And when I was saved at 16, I knew I was going to be in a very public ministry. I got married, and I was in a very public ministry, married to a minister, traveling the globe on stages. And then God, that wasn't the one. This is the real deal. But that was a very necessary part of my life to get me to where I am today. And I've learned a lot of lessons. And God told me in 2023, He said, be ready to go. But if you wake up here in 2024, I'm coming quickly, and I want you to talk about faith, and I want you to start a faith school, and I want you to help build up a group of people that are pleasing me and that will fulfill my word that says, when I come, will I find faith? And so we want to say, yes, you found it here in me, and just name your name. Yes, me, you found it in me. And this is how we please our groom. And that's the goal of these classes that I'm doing. And so Holy Spirit of mighty Jehovah God, I just pray that you would just come and open up our eyes and illuminate. You're our everything. You're our leader. You're our teacher. I'm facilitating, and help me move my tongue to get forth, to speak forth everything that you want to say, to encourage people so that they know that they can attain to this. Anyone can please you if they desire to. And everyone is called to exercise faith and please you with their faith, no matter what they're doing. You don't have to be in, quote unquote, we're all in full-time ministry once we receive the Lord, but you don't have to, be doing what I'm doing. It's not reserved for a few people that are out here doing crazy stuff, and it's for everyone. And God has me doing extreme faith living, because I am setting the standard, the example. That's what He taught me. He said, you are proving that it can be done. And so if I can do it out here, homeless, but with a room and a roof, according to my obedience, out here, living on the road since 2019, He told me He would take me from homeless to a mansion. Judy, because I need you to preach my true word, and you won't be able to do it unless you're homeless. You have to understand what true faith is. And so that's just a little bit of a history of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So God loves you. I love you. And I'm just so happy to labor for Him and for you. And I'm benefiting too, because He's my teacher. He's my leader. And I'm simply facilitating. Please don't look to me. Look to Him. I can admire you, you can admire me, we can push each other to greatness, but we look to him, and we're not building followers and admirers. And that's a movement going on right now. Come follow me, subscribe, like, build my channel. That's not what this is. We're telling you to follow Christ. And Jesus was the first one to have followers, and he's the one that said, come follow me. So I think it's funny that all the social media platforms want you to follow, 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 follow. And so we will never say, follow this channel, follow. We will say, follow Christ. And all we're doing is we're like this little in-between person. That's what this group is here, is we're just trying to breach the way for you to grab his hand and help push you in closer to him. Okay. So that's what we're doing. And so Holy Spirit, we love you. So just open up our eyes. So I want to talk about this greater doubt. I have 30 minutes. God told me not to go over 30 minutes, and faith school. I can go under, but really not over, so that you can really grasp. I'm doing it 3 days a week. So hopefully since I started this in January, hopefully people have been gaining insight and being pushed toward greater faith. That's my prayer and hope, if that's what your desire is. And hopefully if you're a true bride, that is your desire, because if you claim to love God and you want to get raptured and you want to consummate with the Creator, the rapture, the marriage supper of the Lamb, then, this should be your goal. You should be a faith fanatic. You should be a God fanatic. You should be like, I love you so much. Because when you truly love someone and you want to marry them, you're trying to impress them, and it's authentic. It's not fake. And there's a lot of fake lovers in the church that are going to be left behind because they confess with their mouth, but they don't really live a life that shows, I love you, God. And so my life is proving I love him. I don't really have to say, like, I love you, God. He knows it by the way I wake up, the way I obey, the way I walk in faith, obedience, and love to the best of my ability. And so it's like, I don't have to sit there and say it all day and try to prove anything. In the past, I think I tried so hard, but now it's pretty effortless, because I just, by the way I'm living, it's like I'm a living proof that it's obvious I love you. Who else would be doing the crazy stuff I'm doing? Who would have shaved their head when God said, shave your head because you're in mourning for a lukewarm church? Who would give the messages I'm giving? Who would make a choice to quit your profession, which you were perfectly good at I got promoted before he told me to quit my job in my profession. So just wonderful. And just to quit it all and just live not knowing, cash in your teacher's retirement that you've been, saving since your 20s, and just taking huge penalties, just crazy. Like, who would do that? You'd be crazy, or it's the Lord. And so I'm the good kind of crazy, and it is the Lord. And so the whole creation is crazy right now. There's no one sane, because this world is insane. But where you want to be is on the good side of crazy, the good kind, insane for Christ, crazy for Christ. That's the healthy kind. But the world is going slowly crazy because of the onslaught of evil, like everything that's in the air, that's in your water, that's in your food, that's mentally coming at you, just even frequency waves and things that are just, there's so much. And it's Christ that gives us power, love, and a sound mind. Glory be to God. And that's the bride. We walk in this crazy world, in this insane world, with rooted and grounded and strong, the good kind of crazy, the good kind of strong, and with power, love, and a sound mind. And that's a beautiful thing to have in this insane, crazy world. It's to have be rooted and grounded and not be moved by all the stuff we're seeing. And so that's I just wanted to say that. But let's talk about doubt. And I really think it'll be very healing for you to hear this from me, because I'm out here. God told me to quit my profession and to do what I'm doing, so I can give these final messages before he comes to the church. And so I don't have the honor and privilege of staying in my profession and getting a paycheck and living in the same place and having a routine life and job like I had my whole life, which I very much enjoy, routine and stuff like that. But I also, this is what he required of me. And so I'm doing it. And so you might think, Judy, gosh, since you've been doing this 11 years and then on the road for 5 years now, since 2019, since he pulled you out, you must have so much faith, because like, it's just a miracle. Like the way you live and the things that he's called you to do, and you have no way to do it, and you just keep trusting. And yeah, I am a faith hero, but I don't often feel like one. And I do go through doubt, and I do go through failure, which I perceive as failure. Sometimes, most of the time it's not, but sometimes it actually is, and I get forgiven and I move forward, right? But for the most part, it's so that's what I want to talk about. And your pursuit of God and pleasing him with faith, you will have to push through greater doubt. And there's no way around it. You're going to have to face it head on, and you're going to have to say, look, I'm doubting. But Thomas did. And others in the Bible doubted. Moses doubted himself. David doubted he could do certain things that God was requiring. David doubted that God would forgive him again after he did such horrible things. But he believed, but he doubted. We're in a good company of doubters. Okay. But Thomas is our famous one. I'm not going to believe it unless I put my hand in his side. And he did. And Jesus was like, Thomas, it's me, And so, I have to remember that. And condemnation comes on you. I feel so guilty if I have any bit of doubt, because I've seen God do so many miracles in my life in general, since he saved me from at 16 in my bedroom, but also since we've been on the road, particularly just declaring and warning the church, repent, Christ is coming. And so when I have moments of doubt, I'm particularly hard on myself, because I'm like, God, I should not be worried right now. I've seen you do so many things. You take care of us. You're good to us. You love us. And yet, why do I act like this time you're going to leave me high and dry? This time it's going to be over, And recently I am on the road here, and right now I have a windshield that's cracked in 3 places, and they're not little cracks. They're big ones. They're ones where the glass is totally compromised. Like, it's chipping away. It's like clean. If it rained really hard, it probably would get through, but it's that bad. And then I have a tire that had a big old bulge in it, which I found out when I Googled means that you need to get it changed immediately. And these tires, my whole set that I bought had another 5,000 miles. I very much planned it for this next trek. And so this happened to me this past week, and I had just had so many things coming at me. And so this lesson this week is going to be on my personal experience with doubt, to encourage you for when your doubts arise, that you're in good company. Biblical characters encountered doubt, and I encountered doubt. And here's the situation. The doubt must arise in order to push through to greater faith, if indeed you're pushing through, pressing into Christ, and not walking away. But it's necessary to face the doubt. And so the thing about facing doubt is we feel guilty. We feel like we let God down. I'll speak for myself. That's what happens to me. And I was completely paralyzed by fear. I'm like, God, I don't have the resources to do the windshield. I have good car insurance, but I have a high deductible on purpose so that I can have super low insurance rate. And so, getting a windshield through my insurance is not going to happen. I'm going to have to do it like I did last time. I find someone to do it, and they did a great job. And a third of what I would be charged through the dealership and through insurance and all that. So anyway, long story short, I was facing these things. We arrived at our destination here, and I was just like, and I don't even have the resources to fix a tire. And I don't know, maybe I'll have to get more than one done, but I just see this huge bulge in the tire. And I've never had a situation like that. And I found out that a bulge in a tire was probably from hitting a pothole, which I've hit many at high speeds on this trip. I never knew that the Northeast of America, Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, all that, New Jersey, there are some potholes that you will hit in the middle of the night. No matter how hard you're looking, you're not going to be able to avoid them. And so, I've never had a situation where I had a big old fat bulge in the sidewall of a tire. And so I'm looking at these things in the natural, and I'm literally paralyzed with fear, because I have oftentimes, as I travel, oftentimes I have maybe $100, $200 to my name. The Lord provides as we go. Sometimes I have more, but he's trained me to just, it's biblical to have enough. And I would love to have the cushion of more than enough. And when we first started traveling, I did. And he spoiled me so that I would keep doing what I was doing. But then when he said, okay, I'm ready to purify you and promote you. So this is, traveling with hardly anything, and the ability to fix my situation has been a promotion and a purification. It's been beautiful. God uses money and resources to really test us and try us. And it has tested and tried my nerves. So I was sitting in my destination, and this doubt arose. Like, God, do you even love me? Like, what have I done? Like, why aren't the resources here to fix this? Like, I could call someone right now to come fix it if you would just provide. And that wasn't the issue. And I was feeling so guilty for being nervous and stressed. I had some people pray for me just to calm down. And I just said, Lord, every day we say we walk in miracle signs and wonders, and I have witnessed all your miracles. So I had all these doubts arising. And the worst part of the doubts arising was that I was feeling guilty for having doubt because of all the things I've seen him do. And I'm talking big things and little things, but they're all big to me. When we see people healed, delivered, set free, we have seen behind the scenes miracles, and they're personal to other people, so I can't give all the testimonies, but we've seen God do. Since we've been on the road, we've been able to help people, witness God, deliver people. I have seen him miraculously provide for us, do all these things that I could never do on our own. And so just to feel guilty on top of being doubtful, and I really had to face it head on. And I said, Lord, please, forgive me, B, help, because I don't feel like I am strong enough to be, like, my nerves are frayed. I just can't handle this. I cannot handle it. And so I really felt like he let that happen this week at my this situation, uh, so that I could give this message and really encourage people that doubt must arise, and it's okay. And you don't need to feel guilty about it. And so I went through all that to try to encourage you to just love God, love yourself, and just say, look, I'm human. I need help. So I will tell you what I did. My mind would not shut up. It was just, I was so stressed. And I laid here and I just said, God, I just need you to knock me out. But I couldn't sleep because I was so worried about the sidewall. The research I did on the bulge is that, like, if I don't get it fixed and I drive, which I'm going to have to be doing soon, it can ruin my suspension. I'll be stranded on the road, blah, blah, blah. And like you said, we don't really travel with much provision, but God always provides when we need it, but and so I'm just like, I can't do this anymore, Lord. My nerves, everything. And I knocked myself out. I haven't done anything like this. I felt guilty we always have Benadryl on hand in case anything goes wrong. But I took 2 Benadryl because I was like, I just need to knock myself out. I know this is not right, Lord. I don't usually take anything for sleep, for anything. I don't. I haven't needed to. I trust the Lord. He's been amazing. He's my sweet sleep, but it just wouldn't shut up. The doubt, the anxiety was not going away no matter what. Everything that I know to do wasn't working. My praying, my worshiping, getting in the word, out walking, like doing my spiritual work, it was not going away. And the doubt was just getting worse and worse. And I knocked myself out, and I said, forgive me, Lord, but I just need to be knocked out. And I did, and it worked, and it knocked me out. And when I woke up, I felt guilty that I had took Benadryl to knock myself out. And I was like, I'm so sorry, God. And there was just so much condemnation, and it wasn't coming from God. It was coming from me beating myself up, thinking, how could you have doubt after all you've seen? And God just cradled me. Like, it's somehow he just broke through all the darkness and through all the doubt. I'm not saying I did anything to do it. He came through for me, and he just said, it's okay to be human. I know you trust me. I know you love me. And it's almost like all the condemnation, all the doubt left me in an instant. It's like he shut that demon up that was after me. No matter what I did, I just could not shake it. It was just like so bad. And I said, "Thank you, Lord." And I went and looked at my tire shortly after that, and the bulge was gone completely, like a miracle. I know he can do it. He's done other things on my vehicle. And I was like, "No, I know that was there. It was on the driver's side. Where is it? It's not there. It's not there anymore." And I was like, "Thank you, Lord." And he's just like, "I've got you. I will take care of you." And so I didn't give up. I was doing my best to face my situation, and his answer to me, with all the pressing needs, and I have a whole bunch of bills coming up, and I need a new windshield and I need a new tire. Not anymore. The tire's fine. The windshield isn't, though. And I'm like, "God, can you put new glass on like you did the tire? Because I know you can fix those holes. I can go out there tomorrow, and those holes, those three marks can be gone. So can we do that?" So he hasn't done that yet. He might want to help the economy. I don't know, but the point is God broke through all of that. But I didn't give up on God. I did what I could do. I was hanging on by a thread, pushing through, believing, and doing everything I could do. But then there was nothing more I could do. And I just knocked myself out. And when I woke up, he was there, and his presence was strong, and he delivered me from myself. He delivered me from the onslaught. And I was able to push through to greater faith because I held on. I didn't throw in the towel. And trust me, I've had a lifetime of throwing in the towel. I will not do that anymore. I've made that resolution. But, you have moments. And I just want to encourage anyone who's listening, the doubt must arise and maybe even consume you in order for you to get to the other side of greater faith. So my faith is greatly encouraged, as you might imagine, that the bulge in the tire is completely gone. Makes no sense. It was there. I was looking at it every day, and it's gone completely, like not there. I just didn't believe it. So I kind of didn't say anything. And then I waited, and I went out 3 more times, and I carefully inspected. I'm like, this thing, it's gone. It's like God took care of it. And so obviously my faith is greatly encouraged, and, I'm just not concerned about anything. He told me that the rest of the driving to get to the West Coast, that the windshield would be fine. That's what he told me. He said, "It'll be fine." So I can drive it with the holes, and when it needs to be changed, or if that needs to happen, he said, "Just, I need you to not focus on that." His answer to me was, "I need you to focus on, you know, if we're here, I need you to be in another continent declaring with another Enoch walker. This time you're taking, another person." So my son and I always go on the European trips, but we're going to be taking another person with us, Stevie. And he said, "You will go declaring." And, this was his answer to me. I'm like, I got 3 big bills coming up right now. I've got issues, and this is your answer to me. And that really offended me. I'm like, can you just like take care of my pressing needs? And then can we talk about like something that I'm going to be doing in 3 months if I'm here? Like, do we need to do that now? But see, God does the opposite oftentimes of what our mind wants to do. He just said, just start the planning phase. And I'm like, I can't do anything. And he goes, you can start reserving places, because you can start. If God tells you to do something, we have to do everything that we can do, aside from having the money to do it. You can start like reserving stuff online. Even if you can't pay for it, you can reserve stuff, with a credit card that they won't charge until the day it's due. So I started moving forward in faith, going, this is crazy. Okay. And, but when I saw that my sidewall, the bulge in the tire in the sidewall was totally gone miraculously, it gave me the faith to push through and to obey the Lord. Because, when you go ask God for something about a situation and he just totally ignores you and tells you to start planning for something else that's going to cost 10 times the money that you need currently to do what you need to do, it's like, excuse me, but that's that's what a life of faith is. It's God pushing us to the extreme because he knows what's in us. He knows that he can push us and we can move over into the realm of supernatural faith where the things in the supernatural manifest in the natural because of our faith. And so, I don't have some great story of being some huge, like, mover and shaker, but I do have a strong faith in God, and I know he's going to do what he says he's going to do. And hopefully that's your story too. And so I hope that if I can be an inspiration, if I can keep doing what I'm doing and have been on the road since 2019, living like a newborn infant, trusting the Lord for everything, then you can. And he won't let you down, and he's not going to let me down. And he's good. And he will make sure that you are fully taken care of, fully protected, though affected oftentimes by what's going on in the world, but we're fully protected until he comes to rapture us. He's coming so quickly. So I hope my message of doubt and doubt arising and, understanding that that must happen in order to get into greater faith, that you don't hate yourself for it like I have the habit of doing, or just, condemn, just be like, okay, I face the doubt. Here's what it is. I'm human. This is hard. Help. And God will come through and he will help you. And he did for me. And I don't even know how to explain it. But the one thing that you must not do, and I must not do, is don't throw in the towel and give up. Now, when I took that Benadryl to go to sleep, to shut my mind off, I wasn't giving up. I just told the Lord, I can't handle another thought. I just need to knock myself out. And I said, I'm so sorry. And I took 2 Benadryl and went to bed. And, um, he knew I wasn't giving up. I just needed everything to shut up that was coming at me. And it did. I slept for like probably 18 hours. And when I woke up, I instantly repented for taking something to sleep, because for me that's sin, because I don't have to do that anymore. Years I had to take stuff to sleep, and he's so helped me that, to me that's a sin. For you it might not be. So I did ask the Lord, and he forgave me, and he helped me. But for me, that's just not something I do. I don't take stuff. Um, I just do natural. I don't pop pills or anything. And I'm not condemning you if you do, but for me, he told me, Judy, I want to be your everything. So I live a life of avoiding, even aspirin, even Tylenol, if it's very few, and it'd be very rare that I would do something like that, to take anything, honestly. But I have had to, off and on. When we got back from Europe the last time, I wouldn't have been able to survive if I didn't have some NyQuil, because I got really sick, for like 2 days, and my head was just about to explode. And so some NyQuil helped, and then I was good. But for the most part, that's just something and God just told me, avoid, don't drink, don't do anything, drugs, nothing. And so my life has been one of, not having substances, because I don't want anything. I don't want any mixture in what God is doing with me personally. So, you have your personal relationship with the Lord, what he's directed you to do. And maybe some of you are allowed to have a glass of wine at night to relax. I'm personally not. He is my wine. He is my relaxation. He is my habit, you know. And so we all, in our relationship with the Lord, whatever we have established with him, and our intimacy and our authentic living, God holds us accountable to the standards that he's put in our life. So anyway, I wanted to say all of that to talk about the doubt and to face it, to keep holding God's hand through it and trust that he'll get you through it. And then when you get on the other side, you're going to have, is my faith greater this week than it was last week? Yes, it is greater. Having the miraculous miracle of the bulge in the tire being mysteriously gone when it was clearly there, and they don't go away on their own. I did a bunch of research on it. That really encouraged me. Having God just deliver me supernaturally and make me feel better about feeling horrible for doubting and for being afraid, and, just him scooping me up and comforting me, very affirming. And I'm not giving you any kind of like 3-piece, RX on how to do this. I'm telling you, just call upon the name of the Lord and say, help, Dad. I want to follow through. I want to please you to the best of my ability. I just can't. I need help. I'm scared. And he will deliver you. He will help you. And that is the story of the church, of the bride. So facing doubt, facing unbelief, and letting that relationship with God, don't let go of him. It'll push you through to greater faith if you don't give up. And that's the story of the bride. So God bless you. See you in the air. Bye-bye.